Hi, welcome back to Oak's Opinions. My name's Joe, and I'm hoping to bring this back this year in 2013. I'm thinking about doing it twice a month. I had hoped to do my first video a little bit earlier this year, but I've had this nasty cold that I'm just getting over now, thankfully. First, I want to put an apology out to the band Thousand Foot Krutch. When I did my returning video, I used their music from the song Invitation. It was just the musical of one of their albums, and I put a credit on the first slide of my presentation, and I thought that was enough. It was apparently a copyright infringement, which they decided to allow me to keep the video up. So thank you very much, and I'm sorry for my inadvertent copyright infringement. Second, I'm going to talk about the two things I'm going to talk about today. I have going to talk a little bit about the new Obamacare that has been now passed into law, and I intend to talk about a little bit the Social Security taxes that went up with the new law. First, I'm going to talk about Obamacare. There's a company called Hobby Lobby. It started out as a mom and pop shop doing little hobby gifts and items, similar to a rag shop, but a little more focused on hobby items. And it's grown into a multi-million-dollar business with several stores. The store owners were Christians, and they had a very strict following faith. Well, with this new Obamacare, they are going to be required to pay for Plan B for their employees as part of their health insurance. Should a company who is Christian faith based and whose owners don't agree with the idea of contraceptives in that manner be forced to pay for them? It's a similar concept to having a person who thinks it's wrong and cruel to kill animals and eat them, say from PETA, and forcing them to cook steak, chicken, fish. It's the same comparison. How can you allow this to happen? A person would find it wrong. Also, we have religious objections to getting your flu shots or your immunizations for your children. You can get your pastor to write a letter, or your religious figure to write a letter, and you can avoid having your immunizations for your children based upon a religious belief. Well, how come we can't do the same thing with this? A company is being required to pay for something that they find morally incorrect. It just doesn't make sense. The link to this story is below. The other thing I wanted to talk about today is the Social Security tax that was increased. The tax increased by approximately 2%. Went from 4 and some odd percent to 6.2 or 0.2%. What this means is that more money that you are paid is going to Social Security. Now, what this increase really is that it's taking away a cut that was put into effect 2 years ago. Now, a lot of people are wondering, how does Social Security actually work? Well, it's actually a fairly simple principle, and it's a type of welfare, but it's not, because you contribute and then you collect. Started back in the 20s and 30s with the Great Depression, and people could not save. So the government then said, you're going to save because we're going to take money out of your paycheck and put it toward the time that you're going to retire. So they take Social Security out. They use then those taxes to pay Social Security benefits for people who've been paying Social Security for the past 65 years of their life and are now retired. In theory, as the population grows, you have more people contributing to Social Security, and as the population grows, you're going to have a larger percentage of people collecting Social Security. One thing that it seems like they didn't fully anticipate is that people are living much longer now than they did in the 20s and 30s. So your percentage of people collecting seems to be growing faster than your percentage of people contributing. It seems to have been causing problems. There's a lot of different reports out there, and most seem to think by the year 2030 or so, there won't be enough benefits to keep paying 100% benefits to everybody who's trying to collect. This is a very scary thought. We've been paying into this our entire lives, and we are entitled to our own percentage of it when it comes back. We're entitled to our payouts. So, where is the fine line? That's what the whole concern is about Social Security. One of the reasons also that they raised the Social Security tax, or they cut that tax, they got rid of that tax cut. On top of that, I did a little research, and I found out that you can only collect Social Security after you've earned 40 credits. Every year that you work, you earn 4 credits. So, do the math. You have to work 10 years in the United States before you are eligible to collect any Social Security. From that point on, there are percentages and there are thresholds that you can reach up to and you can get. It's based upon how much money you've contributed is how much money you get in your terms of paying out. It's a very scary proposition if they don't have enough money. On one hand, you say, yeah, okay, raise the taxes so that you can put more money into Social Security. But on the other hand, well, why am I putting money into a government-run fund to maintain for me when I can do more with my own money? Well, I can save $50 more effectively than the government can because I can put it into other ventures. But at the same time, how do you dismantle the system? There's not enough money to pay everybody back what they put into it. So how do you dismantle the system without shortchanging people who deserve the money because they've been contributing their entire lives? Well, that is the big question. You can't. So they keep going and need to find a way to keep it running. Well, that is Oak's Opinion, 1st of 2013. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll join me later this month. I hope to have another one. And we'll see what issues come up between now and then. I am in the middle of rereading the U.S. Constitution. How many people really know everything that the Constitution says and what it's all about? Not many. You read a little bit of it in high school. Maybe you studied a little bit more, you did a report. What I hope to do is, starting in February or March, start presenting interesting and relevant parts of the Constitution to the current issues. Obviously, one of the big ones right now would be the right to bear arms, especially over the big renewed gun control debate. I hope to consider that and bring thoughts about that in the next video, and I'll hopefully be doing a little research on the Second Amendment and bring more thoughts on that as well. So until later on in the month of January, this is Oak's Opinions.